it feels like so long ago now. It's kind of funny looking back. But obviously, being named the captain was a huge honor. Being able to try to lead this group of guys, we had a really special group this year, and that was really special for me. And then obviously up until the injury, it was we had a great start. We were running on that hot streak there for a little bit, and then things happen and things change fast, unfortunately sometimes, and just it doesn't always go the way you planned, but God's always got a bigger plan sometimes, right? So it is what it is. So that's about it for that.
Obviously, breaking the all-time goal record. That's for the fans here, that's great to see. We haven't seen the amount of records we broke this year in a long time. And you obviously take pride in playing here, being a leader here. What did it mean to be able to put your name at the top of that list and among some pretty important figures here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tremendous honor. It's a testament to all the guys that I've played with the last 3 years, since I've been here. Obviously I've been fortunate enough to play with Harps for a good portion of that time, and obviously you look at the player he is, and he just makes my job so much easier, and that goes for all the guys that I've been fortunate enough to be on a line with and on the power play and things like that. So it's not so much me as it is those guys for sure. So it just I hope they get the accolades and all that along with everything that goes with that.
The transition of the C over to Skio at some point in March. I'll tell you, it caught me off guard. Nobody told me. Rob, I don't even think Rob did until that day. But I'm just curious. I'm not sure what your state was at that point, but what were kind of the conversations at that point or afterward that you had with him just about, wearing the C or, your philosophy on things, or just any conversations you had with him throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah, as far as Skio goes, we never really talked about it face to face or anything. Pete called me in the office with 2 weeks left in the season and just asked if he thought that it would be okay. I don't think I was officially ruled out at that point. I was still trying to make it back. Obviously I was fighting up until that last day. The roster was set to try to make it back for the playoff run. But he asked if that was okay, and obviously, Skio's a great leader, and said absolutely. I think that we needed a guy on the ice that would help lead the group, and I think he did a great job with that. So
this is your third year here, right?
It is, yeah.
So after 3 seasons here in England, so playing for Adirondack, how does it feel to get through this time and go from where the team finished 21-22 to now?
Yeah, that's we were talking about that earlier today. It's been quite a ride, especially for, I think me, Harps, and Smitty might be the only 3 that were there for that season. So I mean, we were at the bottom of the bottom. I think we finished 27th or 26th that year. We might have been dead last. And then to transition that into last year and making the playoffs last game of the season and what we were able to accomplish as a group, and then you roll that over into this year and start off the way we did and basically clinch the division at Christmas. Obviously we didn't, but we were on that pace. So just to be able to be part of that rebuild, and it was really special for me, and it's just a testament to the organization here and what Jeff Mead does from the top down, and our staff here with Manor and Jazz and Rob and what Brennan does, and it's we have such a good crew here. It's really felt like home for me the last 3 years. The fans are unbelievable here. There's nowhere better to play in the ECHL, and I can say that with confidence. I've 3 years now. I feel like I've seen enough other teams and talked to enough other guys to know that this truly is, this can be home for a lot of guys, which is something you can't say about everywhere else. So.
You played with Pete 2 years ago in what ended up being his final year as a player. I know you had 2 years with him as your coach. How has that relationship developed? Both as leaders. He was obviously a former captain of the team twice over. How's your relationship with him grown and changed?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a transition period when you go from coach to, or from player to coach. Sorry. So Pete tries to treat everyone like their family and tries to create a culture like that. I mean, obviously there's ups and downs throughout a season, and obviously, you know, when there's decisions being made that you might not agree with, like, it's going to put strain on relationships. So that's certainly a factor with things. So yeah, I mean, it's I think he's done the best with what he's been able to do here, and yeah.
There's going into next year now, obviously making that transition now, cleaning out your lockers and whatnot. What kind of lessons did you learn this year that you're glad you can kind of put in the rearview mirror next year?
Yeah, I mean, going through something like what you look at it now, and like I feel like I was fortunate to go through something like that, and it doesn't always feel like that at the time. Going through an injury and what felt like something that I thought I was going to be back, 2 weeks later, and then got pushed back, and then ultimately ended up not being able to compete in the playoffs with these guys. So it was disheartening, and it's just one of those things, like, when they tell you don't know when your last game might be, or not to take anything for granted, it's like when you get hit with a scenario like that, like, it really kind of hits home, and you learn to cherish every opportunity and just take it one day at a time, and realize that, like, what we're doing is a true blessing. Like, we're playing a game to get paid. Like, it's something that not a lot of people can say, and we're living out our dreams here. So it's been a journey, and it's an experience that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
Is there any part of that that's going to help you get back in gear for next season and get things going?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I felt really good. I was still, like, right when the playoff roster was being set, I wasn't ready to be skating or anything yet. But I was close, and then I would say probably end of round 2, start of round 3, I was, like, good to go. So at this point, it's just trying to prepare for next season, and starting to, like, I'm feeling good, and just kind of the same things that is every year. You take it one day at a time over the summer, and just try to get stronger and get your body back to game shape and skating shape, and go from there.
And lastly, is there any particular moment or moments you think of from this year where you're thinking about whether it's a fan interaction or an event somewhere, or a moment in a game, or are there any particular moments that when you're thinking back to this year that it's going to be first and foremost in mind?
I mean, I guess the first thing that jumps off the page is that win streak we were on. You don't always get to experience something like that with a team, and I mean, it felt like we couldn't lose at that point. Like, I've been on so many losing teams in my career, so to be part of that and to feel what that's like is truly remarkable and special. And then as far as fan interactions go, like, I mean, I've made so many lifelong friends here, and you see the kids with the jerseys and stuff, and, like, they bring a smile to your face every time you see them, and it's that's truly, like, a special part of this culture here in Adirondack and all that. So, like, it's back to what I was saying about the fans. Like, it's such a special place to play, and to be able to have, like, personal relationships with some of the people that support us is really special.